Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going over the Give Them Lala podcast, which this week, September 20th/22nd, because this is the video and it comes out a couple days later, is all about the one about what it takes to be a Real Housewife. So if you are a Vanderpump fan and a Real Housewife fan, this podcast episode is for you. I cannot wait to see what it takes to be a Real Housewife. And I have a lot of new content coming your way, so stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video or go live. All right, let's get into this.
Oh my gosh, we're back at it. Welcome back to the Give Them Lala podcast. Last week's episode put me on my face. Why was it so funny?
It was so funny. I think it's because we were all exhausted, or like we were all just super tired, and that's when the funniest things come out. Your Amazon Lives are funniest when you're sleep deprived. I don't know about Easton, but I'm silly, goofy girl when I'm sleep deprived. Easton's obviously hilarious. Yeah.
Well, that's really shitty because I got an excellent night's sleep.
No.
Oh, you should have popped a melatonin before you came in.
The amount of times that I watched last week's episode on YouTube, but Jessica, you thinking that otters were rolling up to the mall, it's just, you're so funny. The whole episode was fantastic. So hopefully we can keep that.
Sleepy for you again.
Yes, keep that going. I have really huge news. My daughter pooped in the toilet for the first time.
Woo!
It was...
This is news to me. You didn't even tell me.
It happened last night. She pee-pees in the toilet on her own, right? Whatever. Last night, she's very afraid of pooping in the toilet. And I was talking to Scheana about it because she gets in like pop, lock, and drop it position when she needs to go to the bathroom. And
Scheana?
Sheena does, or
Ocean.
Okay.
But I was talking to Scheana about...
I was just picturing Scheana just squatting
under the table.
Pushing.
Okay,
I like
healthy.
a 5-star restaurant like Ocean. I'm like, can you not do that right now? And then she'll go, I'm pooping. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm mortified.
Last time she did that, we were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and she told everybody at every table, she was like, I pooped.
I was like, they're trying to enjoy their caviar. Please stop.
She did it at Matsuhisa too.
Yeah, she does it everywhere.
I love it.
So I was trying, Scheana said when kids poop, if it's in a diaper, and I don't know if this is true or not, but if it's in a diaper, it still feels like it's a part of them. Because when they're pooping, it almost feels like they're like losing an organ. So when they start on a toilet, it feels like their stomachs are being pushed into the toilet. So last night, she said she needed a diaper on because she needed to poop. And I was like, no, we're going to go on the big girl potty. And my mom and my BFF Madison, she's in town, said, you want to know how fun it is to go poop on the toilet? The poop, when it hits the water, makes a splash. It splashes everywhere. Ocean has like dude energy, right? Like she likes to jump all over the place, climb on everything, yell, scream, thinks fart jokes are funny. So that helped.
Hitting water.
The poop hitting the water, the thought of it made her want to go on the toilet, and she did. And as she's pushing, and I'm looking at her dead in the eyes as she's doing it, I'm like, you're doing it. I'm watching. It's happening. And she's like, it hits the toilet. She looks and goes, I did it. I poop on the toilet all by myself. She was so excited. And I was like the proudest mom ever. However, I then got her ready for bed and forgot to put a diaper on her. So this morning I woke up to a very wet bed and I felt so bad. I was like, did you take your diaper off? She's like, you didn't put one on me. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. But then she told me she did it this morning. So I was like, okay, great. And it was still warm.
She peed this morning. She wasn't laying in it.
I feel like if it wouldn't have been warm still.
No.
I don't think.
It would have been like yellow colored around where it like dried.
No,
so,
it
yeah. That's good that she didn't have to lay in it. That makes me feel a little bit better.
That makes me feel, I felt like a horrible mother because I'm all about the nighttime routine. I'm fantastic at it, but apparently not that great.
The first thing she said to Lisa this morning was, I forgot to put a diaper on her.
No, I beat myself up.
I didn't even walk to the room first thing.
I feel like that's such a normal thing to do, especially she had just went poop on the potty. In your mind, it's like undies vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Have you ever peed the bed, Lala or Easton?
Oh yeah.
Have you? As an adult?
no,
Oh, not as an adult.
Not as an adult.
I mean,
Oh.
I mean, I can remember wetting the bed though.
You can,
Like I was
that's
old enough to remember,
Okay.
right?
I don't
mean,
know. I can't remember ever wetting the bed.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty perfect, but like not exactly perfect.
She just sharts.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Easton. I hate you. You're an asshole. What else happened this weekend? Oh, the Rams lost to the 49ers, and I was very confused to see we have producer John very upset about it, by the way. And I was like so confused how they were playing at SoFi, but it was just like a sea of red. And when I asked producer John about it, he said that the loss is attributed to it being, I wrote this down. What is it called?
Levi South.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There,
Oh, you've
I'll
heard
help
of
you out.
this?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because when the 49ers travel and they play in Los Angeles, it's like they all travel. So instead of playing like at Levi's Stadium,
Yeah.
they just call SoFi Levi South.
Oh.
Because it's like they just put like this, they pick up the stadium and bring it because they travel.
Now that's a
With the
fan
team.
base.
Felt like a home game.
Yeah. So it feels like a home game. So they're playing at Levi's South instead of, there you go.
What happened
But-
to all the Rams fans?
I'm a little upset about it because my daughter is now a Rams fan. And if she's like sitting here looking at a television screen where they're playing at home and it's just a sea of red, you're now confusing her.
Yeah.
You're confusing me
Why?
because they're away. You know, they shouldn't be wearing all red.
No,
That's
I know.
I'm
So what
saying.
is that? There's just a lot of Niners
they're-
fans everywhere.
It's kind of like Raider Nation. They travel everywhere.
See, I want to be part of that fan group, producer John.
Yeah,
Because
where they're everywhere.
he says boo.
Also-
Because if I'm going to show up to a Rams game and the 49ers fans are taking over, I feel like it used to be that way with the Steelers at the Titans because I used to be a big Steelers fan. The Steelers at the Tennessee Titans stadium, I would show up in my Steelers gear and I felt at home because it was all Steelers.
Wow.
So maybe I'll be a 49ers fan now and producer John and I can duke it out.
Duke it out. I would love that.
Yeah.
Bring in some competition. The Dukes are up. So Lisa came through with the news yet again, but it was a little darker this week.
Okay.
It was like really dark, actually. She first told me that Californians are pussies.
Pussies.
She used that word. And I was like, you mean they're dicks? Weak, little flaccid,
Soft.
soft, little
Ugly.
yucky.
No, just kidding.
Ugly. Because she saw this video where it's in New York and this guy goes in to rob this jewelry store and he's got like this giant chain and he's like breaking the windows with it, not realizing that like it's a family owned jewelry store and they're inside. This family, the fucking boss up on this fucking guy. Okay, they come out with bats, they're approaching, and I love that energy. And it is New York energy where like I've worked hard to build this company. All right? This little shop, I came from nothing. And you're going to come in here and try to take what's mine? I'm fucking you up. It was the most beautiful video I'd ever seen. Like they didn't give a damn.
No.
This guy's whipping the chain at them and they just keep approaching. Like just this family.
How
That's
many of
New
them
York
are there?
energy.
There were a lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's New York
Bats.
energy for sure. Yeah.
New York energy.
Right.
That's also Texas energy a bit,
Oh.
which we love. We love it's like I'm protecting my
What
Shit.
I've worked. I'm
Yeah.
protecting my shit. It's like 50 Cent says.
what's he say?
I protect what I've got. I'm in the house with my blade.
G unit.
We hit it cracking in the club. G-Unit.
Llamen a la policía. Llamen a la policía. Llamen a la policía.
What's that smell?
So that happened. And then she was also telling me about, God, she really did get dark.
Oh.
California mom had all of her limbs amputated after consuming bad tilapia. She almost lost her life.
Lala.
That's fish, right?
I have so many different emotions right now. I'm just laughing at your overall demeanor. You going, she almost lost her life.
No, she did.
No, but like over tilapia, that is horrifying.
Tilapia that was contaminated with a deadly bacteria. I need to know what this is.
Can we know where they caught the tilapia?
Well, let me read on further. It
Yeah.
says a woman who is a mother of a 6-year-old became sick days after eating the fish that she had purchased at a local market in San Jose and made herself at home. They put her into a medically induced coma. Her fingers were black. Her feet were black. Her bottom lip was black. She had complete sepsis and her kidneys were failing. So sepsis occurs when chemicals released in the bloodstream to fight an infection trigger inflammation throughout the body. This can cause a cascade of changes that damage multiple organ systems, leading them to fail, sometimes even resulting in death. Can you freaking imagine? You go to the supermarket, you're like, you know what? We don't need Tyson's chicken tonight. I'm going into the section where there's the glass, and I'm going to tell the guy, give me the tilapia, making my family a 5-star meal. And that happens?
That's, and I wonder if it was it the fish, the water that they caught it from, or was it that it was left out too long at the store? Like, you don't know.
I could see where I looked it up.
Yeah.
They are found in shallow streams, ponds, rivers, and lakes. So I'm going to assume maybe this one came from a pond.
Yeah, maybe we don't eat tilapia right now.
Tilapia is not found in the ocean?
Well, this one just said they're mainly
it says
freshwater fish.
So probably lakes is
Yeah,
where.
I've seen tilapia on really, really incredible restaurants' menus.
Tilapia is delicious. I've had it many
It just
times.
says mainly. So who
I'm
knows
never
if like,
eating tilapia ever. It's not like it's my first choice anyway,
have you
but
seen how
that's
they fly fish in though, and they like send hundreds of them into lakes. Have you seen that?
what?
You haven't seen that?
Hundreds of what?
fish, like into lakes. Like they'll just like get. It's like a
To populate,
fish store.
yeah.
To populate lakes because people fish in them.
Do you remember
So
that?
maybe that's why it says mainly they're caught here, but they could be a sea, like a saltwater fish.
Well,
but
do you
maybe
remember
they're
that place we
putting-
went to in Utah where we went fishing with mom and dad?
That's where they would like helicopter them and just drop them in from hundreds of
No,
feet.
it was so many fish. Like, there's
Did you
no
see
way.
it?
Yeah, half of them
We
would,
went there to fish.
You
and
watched the fish get dropped.
with a helicopter.
Oh,
You watched them get dropped in.
Yeah, I'd go up to Rockport in Utah, and they would have a helicopter, and they would go like really close with a huge thing, and it would just open, and fish would just
free
fall in.
fish,
Yeah.
free falling.
Yeah, you can look it up.
It's raining fish. Hallelujah. It's raining tilapia. Don't eat that shit. You'll die. I'm terrified. You're out of your mind. I'm sticking to like the salmon, where you
Ooh,
catching
tuna.
it. Or, right?
Ooh, good old tuna.
I've heard all of it though. You just got to be careful.
Wait,
No, you
what?
really do have to be careful about anything you're eating from the ocean. I think it's
And
just
Trader
safe.
Joe's.
By the way, Trader Joe's, they have, I love Trader Joe's, but they now, it's like
I don't
someone's
know.
sabotaging them.
And now everything I eat from there, I'm like,
I'm a
really
little
feeling
nervous.
around, seeing if there's some.
They've had
moving
rocks.
stuff.
I know. I love them though. They have the
Bugs.
best snacks.
Metal.
But I'll be real with you. I've gone into Trader Joe's multiple times looking for the cookie butter cookies, and I would eat rocks just to have them.
Right.
Put them back on the shelf. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Did they take them off the shelf?
Gone, nowhere to be found. I
No.
swear. And I looked it up to see if they were discontinued. I saw that the cookie butter cheesecake is discontinued. I can find nothing about the cookies.
The cookie butter cookies.
Cookie butter cookies. So naturally, I went to the next cookie, which was like a hazelnut cookie. Just as good. Yes, I finished the entire pack last night during a game of Rummy Cube, but it's no cookie butter cookie. So I'm letting you know, I'm fine with eating things that should not be in my box of whatever from Trader Joe's just to have one more day of cookie butter cookies.
One more day. Ideally, no rocks, but if there's a rock or two, Lala will be okay with that.
I've had more suspect things in my mouth than a rock.
Oh, fuck. Moving on.
Okay. Truly.
Moving on.
Okay. Manhunt for a murderer is over after escaping prison. It's like Prison Break. No, this is real news that my mom shared with me. Okay. He escaped from a Pennsylvania prison just days after being sentenced to life without parole in the fatal stabbing of his ex-girlfriend. Okay? Okay? August 11th, he escapes. September 4th, spotted on a security camera in Longwood Gardens. September 9th, he steals a van. He's running.
Buck wild.
All right? He's stealing cars. He's looking for weapons.
Grand Theft Auto.
Because on September 11th, he steals a rifle. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? And by the way, as I'm reading this, September 13th, he's captured, but he followed the same method of escape and route used by an inmate at Chester County Prison. Igor Bolt broke out of prison on May 19th. I want to know.
How are they getting out?
Well, how do they know how to like escape off of someone else's? Do they get news in prison?
Oh, if someone else escaped and then didn't come back. If they escaped and came back, they could be like, well, this kind of worked, but here's why I messed up.
No, it's a completely different prison.
Oh.
So they're saying he used the same method, but like, I think it would be, if you sit there and you're like, oh, it's the same method, that's strange. Is that like a common thing? I feel like if that was like common knowledge,
well,
all the inmates would be escaping from prison. So
yes.
Were they communicating? And was he like, oh my gosh, dude, this is how you do it?
There's a prison talk, so surely they can get news. There's a prison talk on TikTok. You go on TikTok and you can see.
They don't have TikTok in prison, babe.
They have cell phones.
They have cell phones and they're doing TikTok in prison and they're doing dances and stuff.
Yeah,
there's
half
a whole
of them
TikTok.
just won't even. Most of them will like show you everything in their cell. They show you what they're watching. They have television. They know exactly. They could be watching Vanderpump Rules right now.
Well, no wonder people are out in these streets still committing crimes. You just get locked up. You get to live for free pretty much, and you still get to TikTok your ass off. No, you take the phones.
Well, they're getting them in.
No, even a child who does something naughty, like break curfew or sneaks out, gets their cell phone taken away. But you can murk someone and like, here's your cell phone.
Well, that's like your mom and dad watching 700 Kids.
What?
They're going to sneak a phone.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know how it works. I don't know how they get phones. I don't know if it's after a certain amount of time or you have money. We all know inside the prison walls, there's shady, what are they called? Security cards?
Yeah,
prison
that's
guards.
the biggest
Prison
thing right there.
guards,
It's not like them sneaking it in when they're like hugging their friend on the way out, like, you know, when they're in meetings. It's the guard who is saying, what do you need? And going to get it and then getting paid or whatever. And that's how they're getting everything in. It's prison guards.
I
Not
just
all
live in
of
a
the
bubble.
prison
Not all of
guards,
them,
but
but
yes, we've heard it. We've seen it on TV.
We've seen it on TV. I will say, I watched Orange is the New Black, and that was enough to make me say I will never commit a crime because I would not last. Nope, sure wouldn't. I mean, I run Vanderpump Rules, but I certainly wouldn't be running prison. I just wouldn't.
I think you might have a chance.
Really?
Oh, she would be somebody's bitch.
Have you seen the photos of... Why am I blanking on her name? We were just talking about her from the Housewife.
Jen Shah. Hold on that.
Okay.
I really want to talk about this.
Okay.
I do want to say that this guy who escaped is also wanted in his native Brazil for homicide. So he's like extremely dangerous.
He's wanted in Brazil?
Yes.
That's where you like run to get away from things.
Nope, he's wanted.
Oh, wow.
But he was caught or he's still out there?
No, they caught him.
Okay.
They caught him on September 13th. Thank God, because at that point he had stolen a weapon.
Where did they catch him?
So now he's armed. They caught him in like a field. And they did have dogs. The dogs are the ones that brought him down. And no shots were fired, which, thank God, because once you stick the dog...
Even on his end, yeah.
On his end.
Yeah, I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
But it weighed kind of heavy on my heart. Like, I read this news that Lise sent to me, and I got home from dinner one night, and I was by myself. It was just me. And I'm buck naked. And I'm thinking, what if that guy... Because I was, like, getting ready for bed. Okay. And I'm like...
I thought she was just partying.
I do party in the nude. It's my freest self. But I'm sitting there and I'm in my bathroom, the phone's on the charger, and I'm like, what if the guy that escaped from prison was like in my apartment right now? And he just like rolled up on me and he had killed my dog. And I'm like scanning the bathroom, like, what would I use as a weapon? And thank God I was using scissors to cut my split ends earlier in the night because I did have a weapon if this were to really happen.
So did you leave the scissors where they are now?
It just like really made me think because back in Salt Lake, my grandpa gave me a machete and I kept it by my bed. Because I stayed at the front of the house and you could climb these like keys on the side of the house to get onto the balcony and into my room. And I liked sleeping with the door open, especially on like a winter night. I didn't even need to sneak guys in. Mom was like, they can use the front door.
That is true.
I don't know why they're doing that.
That did happen once.
Why is that man on the side of our house? He can just use the front door.
What's going on? So that also happened in the news. Very, very dark. Let's actually go into Salt Lake really quickly about prison. Because I read that we'll cover OC in just a sec. But seeing as we're talking about prison, let's talk about Jen Shah.
Great segue.
That is a great segue.
A lot of...
Wait, tell me.
Like she's trying to start a Housewives in prison.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, did you read that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this was a while. Like this was like
the Real Housewives of prison.
Yeah, like she was like
federal prison.
Yeah, it's like, are you even taking prison serious?
Well, it doesn't sound like anyone takes prison seriously. They're TikToking their asses off and building content for a new show.
I've learned how to make a lot of prison foods though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've learned on TikTok?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wait, should we have a night where you make us food that they would make
prison
in prison?
Talk? Yeah, prison TikTok food. Let's do it.
I would love that. That sounds awesome.
You would love it because we love shit food. It's like burritos, but with crunched up like flaming hot Cheetos.
That does sound pretty five-star.
I'm getting going.
That'll get me going. Jen Shah has bonded with Elizabeth Holmes in prison. They're friends. Okay, so as we know, Elizabeth Holmes started that like
in I want to say,
what's it called, Easton? Something where instead of drawing blood, all you have to do is prick your finger and they can literally test you for anything and everything. So like drawing blood would no longer be a thing. Elizabeth Holmes literally stole like, I want to say it was $1 billion company.
It was
Theranos.
Theranos. She started Theranos.
So the Dropout, isn't that what
the
that show is about?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's her.
That's her. So she's in the same prison as Jen Shah.
Oh, this will be great.
They have bonded over their situations. And in my mind, I'm thinking, when the two of these women get out, guard your fucking bank accounts with all your life because they're plotting and they're going to steal from everybody. These two women who literally have scammed people like out in the open. Millions upon millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions. And they're bonding in prison? I'm scared and I don't want you around me.
Yeah.
See? Jen Shah creating prison play, Real Housewives of Bryan.
Bryan?
I'm guessing that's where...
creating prison play, like a theatrical production.
Yeah.
In prison? Or is it going to air on or is it going to be like on Broadway?
I would assume prison talent show.
Prison talent show, but I think she was like pitching it for it also to be like filmed.
Level of delusion.
I mean, we could look more into. I don't look into it. I just saw a headline, and I don't dive into anything.
You know,
I'll believe
I
anything
actually
I read.
really, really liked Jen Shah, and I may have shared this story on the podcast before, but I made one comment on someone else's podcast, and I was like, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but when you hear that someone may be like robbing the elderly, it just doesn't. It hits different. She heard this. This is when she was still like, I'm innocent. Writes me a DM this long, y'all, raging on me about how I should not speak on things that I don't know about, that she's innocent, and a comment like that has hurt my family. She went on and on and on. And then I didn't even respond because I was like, what am I supposed to say to this?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even that big of a deal. But cut to, she then says that she's guilty and is in prison now, which is why I'm okay talking about it because she can't come for me. Unless she also has a cell phone and she's listening to the Give Them Lala pod, you know.
In which case, call in.
Call in. You have a collect call from... I'm open to it, Jen. I'm open to it. And I think that I would be an epic producer for your play. Don't you think?
100%.
I'm actually kind of on board with this.
On board with the theatrical play production?
Yeah, but I really Yeah, but I need to keep her at arm's length if I do end up.
Just keep your wallet away from her and you're fine.
Yeah, there's something about the two of them, Elizabeth Holmes and Jen Shah, where it's like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Something's off.
You're not bonding over your situations, all right? Because all of you in federal prison kind of have like the same situation. Like you did something bad and got locked up. You're not bonding over that. You're bonding.
You're talking about how you got away with it for as long as you did.
Stay scheming. No, they're scheming, not bonding.
You think they're
allegedly?
scheming?
But scheming is a bond for them.
That's okay. You can call it whatever it is. Whatever you want. Okay, let's jump into, did you guys watch Salt Lake?
Sure didn't, but I did listen to a podcast about it.
That's okay. It's very crazy watching. Can you listen?
Send that to me next time.
It is so crazy watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake because I'm watching it and the home that Heather just purchased, I'm like, Easton and I used to trick or treat in that area.
Is that where that is?
We've been trick-or-treating in that area. Also, a lot of like dances where you like go somewhere after or you meet at a house to like take pictures. We're in that neighborhood.
In the rich kids neighborhood where you like go and
yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. It wasn't in like our school district, but I would go to dances for other schools sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
Just because my friend groups were kind of all over the place and they're like, you should ask this boy from our school. So like a lot of times we would go to houses in that neighborhood to like take our pictures, or it was like the after party.
So you just recognize all the locations the cameras are taking you through.
Yes.
Every time I watch Salt Lake,
it brings you.
It's
like it's so cool.
There's not like a whole lot of places in Salt Lake, honestly.
Everywhere
they go, it's like,
I know. Every time I watch Vanderpump, that's how I feel. I'm like, I know that place. It's there. I've been there.
Yeah. But it is weird when you watch it and you're like, they're making this look like so bougie, and it's I've been there. It's not.
I know.
Really?
It's like a $13 plate.
Do you have a specific example? Because I'm dying to know.
I'm not gonna out
okay,
anybody.
don't out it.
I'm not gonna out anybody.
No.
Okay.
And then it makes it seem like a lot of these places they're going to are like in my backyard. I'm like, they make these bitches drive.
When they're saying so and so's house in like Daybreak, and then Park City, that is a fucking hour and a half drive.
Really?
No traffic. Like, that's long.
I would love an episode or like one of those green screens where you guys take us through an entire episode of Salt Lake. We have to do this somewhere. We can't do it on the podcast. And you're telling us, okay, this, and you're just like telling us where it is. This is actually not in a backyard. This is far, because that shit interests me.
Well, by the way, when Daybreak first started, the community, everyone was freaking out because it's so close to Kennecott Copper Mine that they're like, this is not safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe to be like building houses here.
Like
this
a
close
mine.
to a mine. Yes.
Whoa.
But now it's popping. But here we go.
And
like
people were worried about to it.
Oh God.
They just started another development when I was out there because my buddy lives there. And I went out there and a whole new development is being built. I was like, pretty soon they'll just be in the mine.
Oh, gosh. Oh, Kennecott Copper Mine is one of the only mines you can see from outer space.
Kennecott Copper Mine. What is it called? Kennecott?
Kennecott.
Kennecott Copper Mine. I kind of like that. Kennecott Copper Mine.
Like Kennecott.
Brought to you by Kennecott Copper Mine.
Yeah, so it's those things. And then like Lunatic Fringe, which is one of the girls.
That's a hair place.
A hair place. I remember like some of my friends, that was like, they claimed it was like the place to go. Again, a place where you're like, okay, like I've been there. It's like a hair salon.
It's fine.
There's nothing
it's
special
not like
about
because like back in the day, because I haven't been to Salt Lake in so long that I don't even know what it's like really anymore. Like a lot of the places I don't recognize, like the new places they'll go and eat. But Lunatic Fringe, like back in the day, it was like, oh, it's so edgy. Like, look at this red extension they put in.
Just the one piece?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And like the choppy short look, and it was like Lunatic Fringe. And I'm like, oh, it's so edgy. So edgy. And they sold bras there.
It's like lingerie? Victoria's Secret. You could get the whole
lingerie
fix.
At one point.
Oh, my God.
I know. I was like, what's your mama going to say when you put those over your garments?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's like it's a great, and how much talk about the church is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The new girl, Monica. Is that her name?
Yes.
I actually really like her. She starts crying to her mom about, she's got 4 kids. She got divorced, remarried her dude, her baby daddy. Then they got divorced again. 4 kids ranging from like 17 to like 5. I think 5 is her youngest. And she's like, usually, like, I'm in sweatpants. I love her. She's so real, right? She's like, I'm usually in Christmas pajamas down aisle 8 getting milk at 10 o'clock at night because I've forgotten. Like, 4 kids, and they're all girls, so emotional.
Boy.
And she tells her mom, like, I'm going on a trip with these girls to Palm Springs. I'm very nervous. I went into Louis Vuitton the other day, which, like, that brings so much joy to my heart. When did they get a Louis Vuitton in Salt Lake?
I was like, what brings joy? Yeah. They didn't have a Louis Vuitton
They have
in
a
Salt
Louis
Lake?
Vuitton store in Salt Lake now?
What do you mean? I had to, do you not remember? We got a backpack. You got a backpack online, and the only store it was at was in Salt Lake, and I had to go and pick it up. Do you not remember this?
I do remember now.
Yeah. They've had it since City Creek opened.
I thought
it's in City
5+
Creek.
years. Yeah. They've had it for a while.
Like a big, beautiful outdoor mall. In fact, for a while, City Creek, when you went there, they had like guards, and you couldn't show your shoulders because the church owned it.
Like my tattoos couldn't be out.
What?
Yeah.
Or you'd get removed.
That's
No
so
separation between church and state in Utah.
But it was a really pretty mall. Still
All right.
is,
So
but
she goes in to get a Louis Vuitton bag because she wants something nice around these girls. And I'm like the worst person to ask, do I get the bag? You always get the bag, babe. Because it elevates a very inexpensive look, right? Like you roll into Zara, you grab like a look, you maybe spend $100, $150, if that. And then the bag elevates every single look. So for me, it was like, oh my gosh, it's so sad that she's like, feels like she has to spend thousands of dollars on a bag so she has something nice around these girls, which I'm still convinced a lot of them wear fake stuff. Because it's very easy to buy.
Well, if you feel like that, find new friends already.
Easton, we have a show to film. We have a show to film, bitch. I think she fits in quite nicely. Like, I don't look at the girls in Salt Lake and go, when I think about them, I think of bougie. Like, yeah, they're wearing some, like, designer brands. But, like, I'm not looking at them going, they are the top of the food chain Beverly Hills bitches.
And it's Melissa, right? You're talking about
Monica. I think her name's Monica.
I thought you were talking about like her 17-year-old girl needing Louis to fit in with her friends.
No, Monica
okay.
went in and bought herself a bag because she's going on a trip to Palm Springs and she feels like everyone is decked in like designer goods all the time. But it does feel forced in Salt Lake. When I see them in like all their designer brands,
it's too much.
It's too much. It's like this feels, because I've been to Salt Lake, all right? I grew up there. Like no one's looking like this. Like out here, or when you watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like what they have on, it's fabulous and it feels like they're wearing it effortlessly. Salt Lake doesn't quite feel that way to me.
No, it seems like a uniform. Like they put it together like weeks in advance for this one scene.
Yeah, it just feels forced.
Yeah.
Because of the Housewives of Salt Lake, I just figured Utah was very bougie, like designer. That's what I thought.
And maybe it did get that way.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm off the bandwagon for this.
But I don't remember it being that way. And I grew up with people who were fucking rich. Wealthy. Like ginormous homes that you...
Dumb money.
Like stupid money. And I don't remember any of the moms rolling around looking like that.
In their like,
Tahoes.
Yeah. You wouldn't even know they had money until you pulled up to their house.
Yeah.
And then you go to their house and it's 30,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And ginormous. And I don't remember the moms being like that.
Well, some of the wealthiest people, look at them. Steve Jobs wearing unmarked, unlogoed, same thing every day.
Do you know why he did that?
Because he didn't want to put the brain effort into choosing an outfit every day.
So, did you guys know, and I could be very wrong, come at me, but you only have so many creative thoughts throughout the day.
Oh.
And most of it is being used up on an outfit. So instead, he would wear the same thing and use all of his creative thoughts on what he was designing. Wow. And that is why Albert Einstein, same thing. He wore the same. Maybe I don't know if it's because the clothes were hard to come by, but he wore the same thing every day. There's a lot of people that just wear the same thing.
You want to know how you know someone's rich though?
People.
Is when they have like an unmarked like sweatshirt or shirt and then the label says that it's like some designer and there's literally no, you're like, wait, so you literally went in and bought like a black t-shirt
for $1,200 and they're like, yeah, you're like, oh.
But the ones who know, it's like the threading, you look at it and you're like,
you're like,
oh
this guy's
shit.
got dumb money.
Yeah. The ones who know, they
or
know.
Or like the older gentlemen that wear the like $4,000 like loafer boat shoes that don't like, not the Gucci's, you wouldn't even know. And you look at them and they're like triple the cost and you're like, that guy's fucking, he's about it.
Yeah, totally. That being said, I'm a sucker for a marked up label. Throw me in all the Burberry prints, Christian Dior CDs all over my body, headscarf. Because I'm a poser, you know?
Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too much when you're wearing like the headband? Like say you're wearing Chanel headband, Chanel jacket, Chanel pants. Is that too much?
You keep it the same brand, but you never mix, right?
I don't like mixing brands.
But is there too much of a brand on you at a certain point?
I think it depends on who you are. Like Dorit from BH, head to toe in the same designer and same print. I like go crazy for it.
Maybe it's, go on.
There are some people where I would look at that and be like, oh God, please make it end.
I think it's different for like men. Like a guy in a Gucci tracksuit. Is there anything worse?
We had this conversation. Do you remember with Mercedes, with MJ?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A guy in a Gucci tracksuit. A guy branded out driest vagina ever. Don't ever wear your brands around me. What's happening?
Sahara. 100%. I don't care. No, it's all, I think it's the person and how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
But she bought the bag and I'm thrilled about it. She deserves the bag. I also love that when she was 4, her dad left. I don't love that her dad left, but I love that the mom was so gangster. She fucking deleted all traces of him. Took every photo of him out of the house. He just like one day decided to leave and he never came back. So Monica, I like her. Her backstory is like deep. It's pulls at your heartstrings. She's normal. I like
looking at her too, so I can watch Salt Lake for that.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad. So now we've got you on RHONY and Salt Lake.
Yeah, Brand,
she's
Monica.
single, Easton.
Holler.
Yeah.
Most of them got standards.
Easton, you're the highest of the high standards. Don't even let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah, what was that? Do you know how many people are in the comment section being like, is Easton single? Is Easton single?
Yeah.
I don't read. I don't like hate, and I feel like I get a lot. So
you want to know who told me? Because Lisa is, I don't know what happened to her, but she's all over the gram and the comment section. She's the reason I knew that a troll mom was talking about the jealous comment. She's how I know that people love Easton. By the way, she answers every DM. There was a girl that slid into her DM and I guess was like, using the C word. And my mom replied, my love, why do you talk about yourself that way?
We really do need to have a segment where she reads mean things and just in the monotone voice.
She reads it so monotone.
It'll be one sentence and it'll take her 3 minutes to get to it, like through it.
Yeah. And she's double glassed.
Double glassed.
You guys, do we add that to the live show? Teaser, don't answer now. You'll see if you come to the live show.
Let's talk about it because I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah. Double glasses, reading the comments.
And
you stupid bitch. You are a whore who fucks for money. And I'm like, wow, you're right. When you read it, it doesn't sound that bad.
And then she goes, and whatever, fuck them.
No, that's so funny to me.
No, she's incredible.
Oh my God.
How do we feel about Angie Katsanivas or whatever?
I don't like her.
Really? Tell me more, because everyone I ask says the exact same thing. So tell me.
I just don't like her. She gives off talking about the person who can. It depends on the person on wearing something. She just can't wear anything. I hate her. She just sucks.
Oh God.
Her vibes are terrible. The way she even like steps out of her vehicle.
Yeah. She annoys me too, and everyone I talk to says the exact same thing. Beverly Hills, Kyle says her relationship with Mauricio is too much to deal with right now. So I don't know if they're together or not together. It hasn't aired yet. I did have dinner with Erica Jane last week, and unfortunately for you guys, I'm not talking about anything we talked about. Moving on. Atlanta reunion part 2. Little snoozy. I can't tell who's lying. Drew may be lying. Ralph may be lying. I'm going to implement things that I've learned from my healing process, and I'm not going to call Ralph a narcissist or draw any parallels. He may be one, he may not be one. He may be full of the truth. However, fans are saying they are desperate for a reboot of this city's franchise. They want to see old cast members back.
Well, this is also I wanted to bring back up. Did we come to a conclusion of people living in the same house? Is it?
It doesn't make it, to me, it still doesn't make sense.
Is it that, or is it something?
Someone wrote in that you're at risk for forfeiting something, or it's abandonment. I've never heard of that. I don't see how two people could own a home together. I do know that if you were to leave your child in a home and you start a custody battle and one parent leaves to like get some space, you can say child abandonment. I've never heard like he cheated. It's a toxic environment. And I know that you've invested $500,000, but abandonment, you lose, he gets the house. It still doesn't make sense. Whatever. Don't care. Breaking news that happened today. This will air Wednesday, so Monday. Shannon Beador arrested for DUI, hit and run. This makes me so sad.
Oh, no. This is breaking. Like, I know this will air a couple days later, but this is like we just found out from
Producer John.
Thank you. Just mere minutes ago.
Mere minutes.
Did this happen last night?
No. This broke on TMZ 2 hours ago.
Yeah, 7. So she got a DUI at 8 a.m. 7:40. Well, it came on I guess it was probably last night.
I think a lot of her anxiety comes from her drinking. And and I'm not labeling anybody, alcoholism is a real thing. Being an alcoholic is a self-diagnosed disease. No one can diagnose you for that unless I guess you go to see a professional and you open that line of communication. But even her talking about her body, to me, because I'm looking at her and I'm like, you've got a great body and you're complaining about your midsection and like how your face is filled out. That's all alcohol. Alcohol is sugar. It attaches itself and it's very hard to get rid of. And if you notice people who drink heavily, they've got like the thin arms, they'll complain about their weight and then they'll only talk about the midsection and you're watching them. And I'm not going to name any names, but I've seen it in the past where I'm like, you're complaining about your weight, but there's nothing that you can do. No matter how you eat, you've got to like come down on the drinking a bit. Obviously, if you're getting DUIs and hitting and running, it's like a problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and it's a sad cycle because I'm not speaking for Shannon, but just speaking from like friends, or someone gets depressed about their body and then they drink to forget about it and have fun, and then they gain weight and then they're depressed more and they drink. It's like the classic, and that's really sad to see.
Right, like you wake up, you're depressed, and then you try to numb the depression by drinking more, and then you're like, oh, I feel great. And the
and the anxiety, you bringing up like anxiety to drink, and that's the one thing that I've noticed. I used to have terrible anxiety no matter where I was, and it was because I was drinking. And I'd pick up a drink and then drink it, but I'd still have anxiety. So what would I do?
Drink another
Get another drink.
Yeah.
And now seeing like not drinking, I can go anywhere and be anywhere and not have anxiety.
And you can figure out how to get rid of the anxiety when it's obviously, I'm not saying no one needs to be medicated for their anxiety. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying personally, and Easton, you're obviously saying personally.
Yeah.
There are things that I can now do mentally to like bring my anxiety down.
Yeah. I have the tools and I can use them when I'm out now.
Right.
Did you guys watch last week's episode
Of OC?
Yep.
Yes! Oh my God, it was good.
It was so good. I love Heather Dubrow. The amount of time and effort she puts into the detail, constantly bringing gifts. She always brings the hostess a gift when she has something at her house. She's like the queen of etiquette, and she's everything I wish I could be, but will never be for many reasons.
I'm sold. I'm done. I'm sold on her. I totally agree with you. I want to be her. She's just a class act. Her relationship is beautiful. What we see. Her family's beautiful. She's thoughtful. She carries herself in a different way now, and that there may be, 55 million reasons why, but I think that
I don't feel like that made a difference.
You
though.
don't think?
Not even a little bit.
Because I saw the teaser for next week, and she goes, I'm done with the show. I'm done with the show. And I was like, well, I might be too.
You could. Yeah, you can be.
I have.
We all say we're done with the show at some point in time.
Yeah.
I just love like her attention to like the smallest details, like when she was building the house that she just sold for $55 million. This was a while ago, many seasons back, where she's going over the blueprint and she's like, this is the luggage room. And I was like, she has a room dedicated to her luggage. I'm so wet right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic.
I just love her. I don't
feel like she's pretentious. I just don't. And I know that there's so many people on the planet that if they had her kind of money, they would be fucking assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe even some of the girls on the show. Like, I think she carries herself pretty well for just have sold her home for $55 million.
And the gift thing was so sweet. I know we talked about that or mentioned that, but I don't know. There's something about that it's like extra special. And she goes, a leopard's not going to change her spots. Like, I'm always going to bring a gift. And to me, I'm like, don't change your spots. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we like gifts.
And
she was like, they were naughty. I shouldn't have given them the gifts, but they were already monogrammed. And I'm like, monogrammed? This bitch is a planner. I wonder how many assistants she has, or if she like really does it on her own.
Don't you think you'd see them on the show, or no?
The assistants
eventually, like on the show.
I think she has one assistant that we've seen on the show.
Okay,
and that assistant has two assistants.
Maybe. I related to Shannon this episode when they're at dinner at the beginning of the episode, and she starts opening up about her relationship, and she's like, John is a private person, but I'm not. Like he retreats where I'm a communicator. And I felt for her because I remember season 5 where like the person I was with was not wanting to be spoken about ever at all. And it was so debilitating that like I ran back to Salt Lake and no one could get in touch with me. I could barely function. I dove deep into the bottle, heavily drinking. And I'm wondering if this DUI will be a wake-up call in her relationship as well, where she's like, I'm cutting out anything now that is not working for me. Because I do think the drinking is coming from many relationships that she knows are not good for her, but she continues to stay in them and doesn't even realize you don't need them. But because you keep numbing with alcohol, you can't even wrap your mind around like what you deserve in life.
So you don't believe because she says this episode, it's basically just, we used to be around each other all the time and now he goes home sometimes and that's hard, like when we're arguing or fighting and that's hard, but that's just a normal thing. You don't believe that? You think there's more?
I feel like in the beginning of the episode, she was saying that like, I'm going to share, and Emily points out, this is a safe space. Like we as women in relationships have to be able to talk about these things because it's good for the group, but it's also therapeutic for you. Mm-hmm. I don't buy that things are all good at all. And I don't feel like he's like sweep it under the rug. Like there's no communication today, tomorrow. It's one thing to be like, you know what? I need to take a breather. Let's pick this back up when we've calmed down. It sounds like he just gets the fuck out and doesn't want to talk about it ever. And I just don't feel like that's sustainable. And because she's such an arguer, and I get that. Like, I don't care if we hit 100 for an hour, as long as resolution comes. And this is not a good quality. It's something I've been working on. But I get where she's coming from. But I do think that's why she's drinking so much. She's trying to quiet what her gut is telling her. And I relate to that. No? You guys don't feel me?
No. I think that's a very good point. And I think that what just happened to her is going to be a wake-up call, and we're going to see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm sure she's probably trying to quiet what her gut is telling her.
I agree. I want to pay homage to Tamra's look in the blue. It's so good.
Oh, the mugler?
Yeah, and then she like
drags
Jen for wearing all of her fake shit.
Fucci. You know what, though? I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I think I probably have a different viewpoint than you.
Why?
Because I don't know. Part of me is like, if she wants to spend, fake shit, it's probably, I don't know. It's probably, if it's made made in a shady situation or stolen, whatever, then it's a different scenario. But then another part of me is like, she's on the show. She feels pressure, sort of like we were talking about with Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. She feels pressure to get all this designer stuff. And maybe she just doesn't want to spend the money. And she's like, oh, they'll never know. I'll buy some knockoffs. I don't know. It just, to me, it's like.
If you are, just go to Zara, baby.
That's how I feel.
Don't buy the designer.
No, I would not be caught dead in a fake label. If I cannot afford it, I may be a freaking idiot for spending that kind of money. But to me, it's like, if I'm going to just go, if I go and I buy something that's not real because it's inexpensive, I'm now buying it because I think it's going to impress people. I'm not here to impress anybody. Right. I go out and I'm a sucker for a designer label because I just love it.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you not think she'd get dragged then if she was wearing all like fast fashion? Like, she's going to get dragged either way, I guess.
I mean, I think we're all wearing fast fashion. I think it's horrible and it's sad. And I wish it could change, but I'm sure every single person. I mean, is Zara fast fashion? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
But I'm just saying, if she only wore Zara, you don't think Tamara would be like, and that Zara bitch over there or something?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
And you can tell if a designer piece of clothing is fake because designers work very hard on matching the corner fabrics together so it looks seamless. If it's not like that, and by the way, this could be completely false. My mom told me. If it's off, like if the G's on this side don't meet the G's on this side, it's fake. But now I'm going to go home and look at all my bags and see.
Your mom told me that, and I looked at the Gucci you got me, and that was true on the classic print one.
It was?
Yes.
They lined up?
So, yeah.
There we go. I'm so thrilled to see that Vicky is back. The Tres Amigas are back. She arrives, they take a shot of tequila, they dress Vicky in pink. She is so freaking fabulous.
She comes in ready to rock.
Guns blazing. She understands the assignment. Hello, the OG of the OC. She sits down and is like, truth or dare?
Yeah.
Truth. I think that you're pretending in your relationship. Oh, with Ryan? Who's Ryan? And she's like, we have a mutual friend. Cut to Vicky's confessional. She's like, we have a mutual friend, Jen and I. Tamra. Tamra's the mutual friend. It's tell a Tamra. I'm like, Tamra, you're so messy.
She's so funny. I love her.
And it grosses me out because this Ryan person who she's with, she like, I don't know if she's going to hit an explosive breaking point. I hope she does. Like, you have to, if you're going to be a housewife, you have to be a little bit unhinged. You have to be vocal, opinionated, and you have to hit 100 pretty quickly, right? If you are only one of these things, two of these things, three of these things, you ain't a housewife. You have to be all four. You have to be on 100 at all times, triggered by everybody who may overstep. Like, it needs to be like we're walking on eggshells, okay? And I need to be able to hit a breaking point. Otherwise, like, you're a normal person and we don't want you on camera. Right. You're just boring. And Tamara says to Jen, Ryan has not only hooked up with that girl, and Jen knows about all of these text messages that Tamara's talking about, and she doesn't care. She like puts it in the back of her. It's really, really sad. This, for me, I'm like, wow, the gym, Tamara's gym is not for like Ryan to go work out at, right? It's like his playground to like prey on women.
Yeah.
To like scout out his like next hoochie mama. How sick.
That is sick. My first question is, why doesn't she care? And how do we even feel about that? Because is she just like a woman who wants to be in a don't ask, don't tell relationship? Because that's one thing.
No, I think that we still live in a world where people, can I tell you the amount of times that I have told people that I want to live my life a certain way and this is what I want, and their immediate response is, but you're going to find someone. You're going to find someone. You're just scarred. And I'm like, why does everything come back to finding a man in life? Women think that if they don't have a dude, some women, not all, mostly women that are older than me, they think if they don't have a man, they aren't complete, they aren't desired, they don't have it together, their fairy tale is non-existent. all because you don't have a dude. If she decides to say, you know what, fuck this, get the fuck out of my house. She already decided to leave her marriage behind for this guy. And now she feels if she leaves him behind, what will everyone think? I literally left the father of my children, my husband for many years who my family loved, for this guy, and it didn't work out. Like, we better fucking suck it up because it has to look like it was worth it.
Oh, that's sad if that sounds like it is the case. And that's really sad.
It's that or she's the type of woman who doesn't care what the man does, how he treats her. I just need the man.
Yeah. Ew. And this is her gym. First off, what gym is this?
It closed down.
Oh, it did. So we know the gym.
It was Cut Fitness.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
It was Tamara's gym. They had it for 10 years.
Gym.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. That makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I should have gone.
I was gonna say all these housewives there, Easton.
I should have a heyday. Lifted my little fives.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
New York, I caught up. I loved last week's episode. Jessel opening up about her upbringing. Jenna talks about her mom who had Asperger's. And I loved how producers cut to like an alternate universe about like when there would be a right time to talk about.
It was such a good edit.
It was such a good edit.
It was amazing because that's how it would have been.
Yeah, Bryn's like crying, talking about her devastating childhood. And they're like, my real name's Judith.
And then yes, it is so good.
Yes, it's so good. Sai opened up about her mom. It was like a very good episode. So I'm sorry we didn't talk about it last week, but I did watch it and it was great. Can we talk about Jessel in this week's episode snoring?
Jessel snoring.
And Uba records it. I had PTSD. There was
Lisa.
Yes.
But you did it to Lisa, or she did it to you.
Oh, Lisa is a choo-choo train.
But not only that, I remember going to St. George to my parents' home, and it was quaint. It was small. I'd be in one bedroom, and my parents would be in the other, and their snores weren't in sync, so it was just a constant run-on snore. And it was literally, I was
because you said
enough to drive you insane. Like I would throw shit at my own door to try and get them to jolt awake.
I'd remember her because it was her room at the end and then mine, and we could hear it, and I'd just hear her just like start pounding down this, and she'd just go and open the door. Stop!
Shut the fuck up!
And she'd slam it. Stop back.
No, and like
both of your parents would snore.
Oh,
yeah, but I wish that they could have done it in sync because it just would have, and then it would have given us a little bit of downtime. But it was rough. It was so rough.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You would hear me stomping down the hall to tell them to stop.
I wasn't sleeping. I felt like it was. I'm not kidding
horrifying.
you. I was at a nightclub, just with snoring.
Yeah,
and then I would
did.
just hear Lauren just door open. Shut up.
Oh, I'm so nice to my parents.
And I was thankful for it because then I could get some fucking Z's out that shit.
For real. Gosh, we have been talking.
I know.
Let's just jump right to this. Would you guys be mad because this was like the explosion that is about to take place? And by the way, they're not in Greece; they're in Anguilla.
Sorry.
And I did see the
Greece?
private beach, and it's fabulous. And I'm pissed off.
Did we say Greece?
Yeah, you were like it's Greece or somewhere.
It looks like it. You could say I'm wrong. Go back and look, but I said it looks like Greece.
Roll the footage.
Roll the footage, though. I said I think it looks like Greece.
It's Anguilla, but Aaron decides to steal Uba's phone as a joke, and all hell is about to break loose next week. Would you guys be that upset about a phone being stolen?
No, just like I wouldn't be that upset if Jenna didn't tell me her real name was Judith.
Yeah. Very sensitive, this group.
I know. It's like, get a fucking worry in your
And
world.
also the stuff with Bryn, it's like, take a joke. Everyone, no.
Yeah.
Take a joke. Bryn's fine. Like the sensitivity in air.
What do you mean Bryn's fine? Oh, with flirting with the husband?
This was last one, but I'm just bringing like, why is this
Take
group?
a joke.
Yeah, take a joke. Why is everyone so sensitive?
They're very sensitive.
If this were my phone now, no. If it were my phone 8-9 years ago, I might be
nudies.
Yeah, because just like you have nudies or you have like you're texting with someone who you don't want the other girls to know that, or like.
So you're shady.
Well, no, mine was like someone who was like, no, not like that. Oh God, now I'm in my no, like someone who was like, if they saw their name, they'd be like, "What? You're texting with him?" And it was like, it was like one of those. I was in Nashville. It was like a country music guy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those things.
That's why you got to put an emoji as their name.
Yeah.
Hello.
I know. Why would I have it under their real name? I don't know. But.
Well, Uba's about to lose her mind. She rips the sunglasses off of her face.
We haven't seen Uba lose her mind, though. So
I love Uba.
That is true.
I loved her talking about Jessel when Jessel was like, I had $20 in my name. And Sai was like, I had -4. And Uba's like, $20, $0, you're broke. Yeah. It's all the same. Right. It's all the same. You're poor. Okay? Life is hard. Even if you got $20 and that's it.
I love her.
Might as well have 0 because what is $20 going to buy you?
Yeah.
And you'll have 0 soon.
It just gives you a little bit of hope to fail later.
Yeah.
That's what a 20 does for you.
No, living for Uba, everything she does is hysterical and she makes all of the sense. All right, guys, let's jump to our ache and relief of the week. Who wants to start us off, Jess?
Sure, I will start us off. I'm going to start with my relief.
Okay.
Which is a relief for me, but mostly for my friend, I guess our friend, the mutual friend, the office friend, Dave. We know Dave, right? We've mentioned him on the podcast before. He is with the Action Park guys. He's in our same office. He's traveling alone in Europe right now.
Okay.
And he comes across, he texts me, he said, I met this group and I met this one girl and she loves the Give Them Lala podcast. And I was like, so he meets her in Spain, but she's from Florida.
Okay.
And she's like, oh my God, I love it. Apparently she's so kind to him and sweet and they have fun all day. And that's how it's fucking done. Because if you're a Give Them Lala podcast fan, you're just a bad bitch. And you're kind and sweet and nice. Her name is Chris. That's her name.
Chris.
Hi, Chris. We love you. Thanks for being so nice to our friend Dave. So that is I know. That's because he's just alone in Spain. And I was like, you better be careful.
I
and then
know.
he's like,
and I love that it's like someone who's part of the Give Them Lala crew. Who's like out in these streets being kind.
Yes. So thank you. We love you, Chris. My ache is physical aches all over my body from jujitsu this weekend.
By the way, Madison was like, the way she loves jujitsu is truly inspiring and adorable.
It's truly horrifying. Kyle thinks it's terrifying. I'm practicing because I'm trying to practice now, you guys. So I'm like, anyone who lets me practice on them, I'm going to do it. And Kyle was like, after like 30 minutes, he's like, I'm done. We
can practice in the office today before Amazon Live.
Can we? Because 100%. You know I have to lay on top of you and roll you and stuff. So you have to.
That sounds fun.
You have to also know how to roll and have someone practice on you so you don't get hurt. But I'm physically aching everywhere. My new private coach, Josh, at 10th Planet Burbank, he is so kind and patient and nice and great. And I'm just jujitsuing my ass off.
Good for you, babe. We're all so proud of you.
Thank you.
At least we'll have a protector somewhere.
Yeah, for when we get in all of these altercations in the parking lot.
With Lisa.
We'll have you.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Easton, ache and relief.
All right. I'll start with an ache.
Okay.
I drove like 11 hours yesterday from Salt Lake here.
And he forgot my dad's urn.
First of all,
we asked him 17 times, and let's remember he drove my mom's car. My mom finally has a car, and he didn't bring my dad's urn.
Hold on.
How are we even supposed to get it home?
Let's not brought it up 17 times. Do you want to know how this happened?
Yeah.
Lisa is going through all of her clothes. I look at it and I go, we can't forget that. And Lisa goes, what? And I go, Dad. And she goes, oh yeah. If I wouldn't even have brought it up, Lisa wouldn't even have known it was supposed to be in the fucking car.
I don't believe that because before she left to Utah, she said, I'm getting Dad.
Taylor was with me and I said, hey, how are we doing this?
Before she left, she said, I'm getting Dad.
Well, she forgot when we were there. So this wouldn't even have been a topic.
I wonder how she forgot. You guys were like trying to figure out how to move out of a house. All I'm saying is...
So why am I getting punished for forgetting?
Because you're the one that drove. And now the car is here and I Googled... It's really hard to get an urn through TSA.
Oh, to ship?
If you think that we're done, we still have a storage unit full of shit.
Okay.
We're going to have another car ride back. I promise you that.
All right.
But
that's your ache.
The ache is movies. And I watched Superbad and Rush Hour. That's the comedy that I love.
I know.
Grew up with, and that is my ache that I don't think we'll ever get those type of movies that like give you quotes. Like Superbad, like Steven Glansberg. You fucking Steven Glansberg, you know? So that is my ache. And
That's a good ache.
Right?
Yeah.
And then my relief is...
We'll always have Family Guy.
We will have that. That's the one that always pushes the limits, and that's why I keep doing it. But my relief is honestly the podcast, and then I'm not really good at like looking on my Instagram.
Okay.
But talking about it earlier, I have been noticing, and I'm going to get better. But to all the people who have been reaching out and making me feel good, you know, like the love has been good, and I just thank you guys for making me feel good. So I want to get better at that. But my relief is just being on here and hopefully adding to your guys' day because you add some on.
Aw,
so, there's my
TT.
relief.
That's so sweet.
And I'll get better. I'm going to reach out to all y'all.
I'll get better
that's
too.
very
I'll get
sweet.
better.
I won't.
You got too many of them.
No, there's mean people. Anyway.
I know. If I read a mean comment, though, I'm fucking out.
Yeah. It's
Nice
a lot.
ones only.
The relief of the week is I am headed to D.C. with the Humane Society in support of the Humane Cosmetics Act.
Woohoo!
Yes. When this is airing, I will be on Capitol Hill today. Crazy.
I just got goosebumps.
Same. I kind of got.
Yeah, it's crazy.
back
I'll
of
be
my neck
part
and
of
all.
a congressional briefing. Did I say it was on Capitol Hill?
Yes, you did.
To end animal testing in the cosmetics industry in the United States. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very, very nervous.
Hold on. I have two things. I
Yes.
want to say congratulations
Thank
and how
you.
proud I am. And also, Lisa sent us
The news.
the news of Shannon.
Oh, tell her she's late. Producer John got to us first. Lala, I'm so proud of you because I know how passionate you are about this, with especially in the beauty industry. And can I be as bold to say this is going to be one first of many visits to Capitol Hill, but this first one is so important.
It's very huge. We also are just waiting, and maybe by the time this airs, we'll have good news. But SB 331, which I've been talking about a lot, it's so that people in the family court system, like judges, have to go through extensive training in domestic violence. So when someone, for example, is in a custody battle and a mom or a dad keeps coming to the court or authorities saying, I need help protecting myself and my child, they actually listen. I think this will be an incredible law if it's passed. The only person we're waiting on to sign is Governor Newsom. So Gov, let's make a difference. I know anytime anyone's asking the state to fund something, things don't pass, but it actually costs the state more to not have this law in place. It is millions of dollars that are spent when a person is murdered when it comes to domestic violence. I think it was over $8 million that they spend on that. So anyway, I hate to leave it on such a heavy note, but that's what I'll be doing today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was long. It's over an hour. Sorry.
I liked it too.
You did? All right. Thank you guys. I will catch you next week.
Bye.
All right, that was a little bit longer of a podcast than we are normally used to, even with all the ads taken out. First, I do want to say congratulations to Ocean, though I'm not going to go into details like Lala potty training her kid. I do know, though, it is a task. It is also such an accomplishment for not only the child, but the parent or person training them. I can say, though, I don't have any kids at the moment, but I have potty trained one little gal at the preschool, which was something her parents weren't really enforcing, but knowing she would never get into kindergarten without being potty trained, this was a goal of mine. And also being with her for a larger portion of her day, we just wanted to help out any way we can. And it was easier for us and her that she didn't have to change herself and get into another pull-up and all of that. This was such a huge accomplishment, and I remember just how proud I was of her and how I felt like I had accomplished helping her. She was so excited, and we would celebrate with her. It was not an easy task at all. So, A huge congratulations to Ocean and Lala, and I hope that this continues down the potty training path. Next, I know I posted the video during the podcast of the bank robbery, but again, I searched, and there has been so many jewelry store robberies in New York and literally everywhere lately, and this is so sad and heartbreaking to know. It's scary too. When I was looking for the story, I saw a TikTok of 3 girls visiting NYC, and one girl got robbed where they grabbed her by the neck and ripped her necklace off of her, which, come to find out, it was a $5 Shein necklace. So please, everybody, be safe. I know these are difficult times for a lot of us, and I worry every day about just things like this happening. And I don't want to live in fear, so I try hard not to worry, but unfortunately, this is what is happening in our society, and we need to be cautious. So please stay safe. They next went into the story about the mom who bought tilapia and had all of 4 limbs removed from eating it. OMG, wow, this is such a scary and tragic story. I am not a fish person, though I do like some fish like tuna fish, clam strips, seafood, and crab, though usually it's imitation meat. But even with tuna, it is high in mercury compared to most other fishes, and mercury exposure is linked to health issues, including poor brain function, anxiety, depression, heart disease, and impaired infant development. They say it should be eaten in moderation, not an everyday thing. Fish for me is not always a first choice unless it's the seafood and crab sub from the store on the corner from me. But again, please be careful. This is just one more thing we all have to worry about. And also on the 21st, the New York Post did post a kind of update story on this poor woman that ate the tilapia. They did start a GoFundMe for her and her family, and they raised over $110K. I will post the link to the article down below for anyone interested. I know I will be sending prayers and good vibes to her and her family, and I can only wish the best for them. The next topic they discussed was the murderer who escaped, went on the run, and was captured. I do want to note that Lala did say this was the same thing another prisoner from a different prison did. But after looking up the story and reading about it, Lala was wrong, and that's okay. And it was actually the same prison that the other guy who tried to escape did. And this guy, months later, then tried and succeeded. I will also link the article from USA Today that talks about this for you all. But I guess the first guy crab walked up this wall, but was seen by the tower officer on watch and was quickly recaptured. Then this guy must have heard about it, probably was talked about or heard on the news, not too sure there. But he broke free by doing what the first guy did by crab walking up a wall, pushing through razor wire, and running across a roof. And the tower guard didn't see this and has been put on administrative leave. It is a very interesting video to see that was captured, and it was shocking how this guy got away with it and then was on the run, oh my God, for days before they even captured him. I do have the video, and we'll play it for you guys right now. So there is no sound. As you can see, though, at the top, it's the same prison that she said the other guy tried to escape from, because this is the same prison. But as we can see, he is just tall enough and strong enough to be able to go up this wall like that, and then from that point on, I guess he was blocked, and then there was razor wire at the top where he just pushed through and then ran across that roof and escaped. Wow. Just wow. So freaking crazy. I guess, though, they need to figure out something, and clearly this can happen in a matter of seconds before you won't see them. When they go through that little pass to the top area, though it seems it goes all the way to the top where the roof is, and then the razor wire didn't stop them. This is something they do have to consider in the future that could happen again, and something that they need to maybe reinforce so that this does not happen again. I will, like I said, link the article down below so you can take a look for yourself regarding this topic. Next, they did go into Jen Shah and the whole housewives in prison. And I cannot lie, I have read about this and thought to myself, this woman is just nonstop. I'm not sure if that would be something I would watch, though I probably would catch the first few episodes just to see what the hell it's all about. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this prison housewives version. Let me know down below in the comments. I love getting to interact with you guys. But I also think that Jen is trying to make money any way possible since she now has no scheme to fall back on since, well, that was outed, and thankfully so. And I'm pretty sure she has a lot of restitution she has to pay back, not to mention high-priced lawyer fees, all of that. But they started off talking about this because of a recent headline saying that Elizabeth Holmes is a regular at the Real Housewives star Jen Shah's prison workout class called Shahmazing Abs. Of course, she had to go with the Shahmazing. Now, in the article also, it says that they are both rehabilitating and have bonded over being on this journey of positive change. And their situations have brought them together, and they have a good understanding of one another. They're getting through it together. This also includes Jen taking on sort of a motherly role to Elizabeth, where Jen has even given her a lot of advice and even met Elizabeth's baby who was born earlier this year. I don't think it's a good thing, like Lala suggested. I think those two together is just not a good mix. I think it's a shame that Elizabeth's baby is growing up without a mother. And honestly, Lala said it best. These two cozying up together, she could see them plotting and scheming, and so can I. I can only hope that these two learn from their mistakes and that it's a wake-up call. But I don't trust it either. I will link this article that I kind of took a little synopsis from for you guys also down below so you can check that out as well. Then they get into talking about Salt Lake City, which has been such a crazy first few episodes. They talk about the newest housewife, Monica, and Lala is liking her, but everyone is different, and personally, I'm just not a big fan of Monica. Just from all that I have seen, which I am all up to date with Salt Lake City, last night's episode, which was Don't Be a Drag. I just think we saw a side of Monica that was just like this mean girl mindset and just kind of a bitch. Listen, I get it. Lisa flaunts her jewelry, her looks, and all of that, which that is for some people and not for others. I know I wouldn't do something like that, but when you lose a $60,000 ring, I would be panicking too, and I would be upset for days and days. Like, that's not a small price tag. And just because Monica thinks that Lisa is being dramatic about it, they are two different people. And shit, Monica, $60K might be pocket change for some people like Lisa Barlow, but that was her ring. It was sentimental to her. And she was very, very appreciative that you helped her look for it. but she has every right to be upset that she lost it. Now, I have heard some theories on this ring that have been going around the social media streets, but there is no proof to any of them. And unfortunately, we can theorize all we want on what happened, but we will never know. What I'm referring to is a few comments I've seen about how Monica is reacting a bit nuts and that some people, not me, think she might have found the ring and kept it. Which I will say, if she did, that is so stupid and not something you want to do. That's just insane. But I don't think this is what happened. And these are things I see that bother me. I get we all are allowed to make assumptions and have opinions, but this is what is just wrong when people put the blame onto someone that kind of starts then spreading rumors about them. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not a fan. So if you see these kind of assumptions, just know they are not true. I want to know, though, whose side are you on? Are you on Lisa Barlow's side this week? Are you on Monica's side this week with everything that happened on Salt Lake City? Let me know down below. Now, Lala did mention about Lisa, her mom, reading these mean DMs and comments, and I totally love the idea of Lisa, her mom, reading these mean comments or DMs. I think that would be freaking amazing, and Lala and Easton definitely get their personality and funniness from their mama. I love Lisa, and I would love if they even added this to the podcast. I just think that would be a great time. Next, they went into Beverly Hills, and oh my God, I totally watched Dancing with the Stars, which I know they didn't discuss this, but it aired last night, and that was a first for me, and I think Ariana freaking killed it. And Mauricio, who is Kyle Richards' husband, is also on the show. I don't think his jive was bad, but I don't think it was top-notch like Ariana's tango routine. But I was happy to see that Scheana was there with Ariana's brother and Daniel supporting Ariana. That was so sweet. And here is the tweet that Scheana put out showing how hot Ariana looked. And of course, them all so happy for her and the incredible dance she put on last night. I'm also going to include a couple other photos of Ariana from Dancing with the Stars and Mauricio because I think we are just highlighting all of Bravo right now. So I hope you enjoy this. Kyle was also there supporting her husband, which I think was incredible too. I don't really have much to comment on their relationship because all marriages go through their ups and downs because we all aren't perfect. And I think this is something they need to work on as a couple for their kids, and people don't need to be involved in their relationship. I think it makes it a lot harder for couples, and I get they're the ones that chose to be in the spotlight, all that, but they also deserve to be able to work on their marriage without crazy accusations and theories being slung at them and making it worse for them. I just don't like that. Next was Atlanta, which was the last bit of the reunion for me. Wasn't as good as other past reunions, though there were high emotions at this one and a lot to discuss, like Drew's divorce and what happened after cameras went down with all of that. Lala did mention something that we've talked a lot about here, about abandonment. Now, I have done a lot of research on this. I have learned about this, and this is something that is a real thing. Each state is different when it comes to abandonment. There are different types of abandonment. Child abandonment is a whole separate type of abandonment than what we are talking about here. But I figured it would be easier for me to give you a very helpful link on this topic. The link is down below. It's a site called Survive Divorce, and it goes over all the different types of abandonment and what each type is and how it can affect a divorce. So if you are interested, like I was, and wanting to know more, please go and check out the link below. It is very informative. Then they moved on to Shannon Beador, which this is just an insane topic and case. So this is something I have been looking at and have just been in such disbelief. Shannon has had issues this season with Scheana because back when Scheana got a DUI, she stated that CPS was going to take Scheana's kids and she was the one that stopped it and this whole thing. And Scheana is now sober. She has gotten her life together. I'm not saying her drinking and driving was a good thing at all. I just feel like it was a wake-up call during a really hard time for her, and she got her shit together for her kids, her family, and did what she needed to do to take responsibility and be from a horrible situation to become a better person. And just to hear that Shannon then gets in a car, drunk, and decides to drive is very scary, not to mention she then hit a building and drives off. Now, I'm not sure if you have seen the footage, so I do want to play it for you. This is a trigger warning, of course. So if you do not want to see this video, please skip ahead now, 30 seconds. I also found this TikTok from the Talk of Shame, which she did a great job with going over the pictures of the scene, and she gave information regarding this terrible crash. So I wanted you guys to take a look at this video as well. So here that is. No trigger warnings needed, just photos of the accident aftermath and what that looked like.
This is the aftermath of the house Shannon Beador allegedly hit the night she was arrested for a DUI and hit and run. Gabby, who I've tagged in this video, it was her boyfriend's house that was hit. She says that the neighbor's Ring cam got the whole thing on Ring and they gave it to police, but she got photos of the aftermath. This is a photo allegedly of Shannon's car. Gabby said that all of this on the ground is oil spilling from the car. This is another angle of the house that was hit. Gabby claims that Shannon drove off and then they didn't find out it was her until the next morning. She says that the neighbor said that Archie was brought back to John afterwards. Someone asked John, as in Shannon's ex-boyfriend John, and she said yes, John lives in that neighborhood where this happened. Gabby said that a neighbor told her that she heard Shannon and John yelling and arguing at John's house. Gabby said that this area is where people are always walking around all the time, and she does, again, say that that liquid on the ground is oil spilling everywhere from the car. Gabby took pictures the next morning of what the house in the area looked like, and this is it.
Now, just about a week and a half after Shannon got arrested and booked for a DUI, hit and run, all of that, John, Shannon's now ex, his son Joe, was arrested for felony vandalism in Newport Beach as well. Newport Beach police received a complaint of vandalism on September 13th at the intersection of Newport Place and Dove Street, and upon further investigation, they arrested Joe on Saturday at 7:15 p.m. Pacific time. He was released from jail at 11:38 p.m. Pacific time on a $20,000 bond. If convicted, Joe faces up to 3 years in jail. This seems just like a big mess for Shannon as well as John's son and John too. I hope that Shannon can get the help she needs, that she wakes up, realizes that this drinking is not a good thing, especially while driving. That's a no-no, Shannon. And that she can take accountability for her actions. And I honestly think she owes Gina a huge apology, which we all know what Gina is thinking. I do know that Shannon's lawyer put out a statement, and this is what it had to say. I will tell you she's accepting full accountability, Lewis 53 continued. She is ashamed. She's embarrassed. I personally, as her friend, because people are like, oh, she needs rehab. Oh, she's an alcoholic. I don't think Shannon is an alcoholic. I think she's been going through a lot of personal struggles right now, and I think she has been leaning on alcohol, but I don't think she's an alcoholic. Lewis added, she's going to be entering counseling this week, so I'm happy about that. Aside from Shannon, nobody was hurt in the accident. I'm not justifying it. I'm not condoning it. I'm just sharing with you what I know. I also think that Lala nailed it with what is going on with her drinking. I do think she has been in a few toxic relationships and she might be drinking to cope. And again, I hope that she can get this together and find peace in her life where drinking isn't something she needs to do to cope with everything that is going on. Okay, so here it is. This is what it takes to be a housewife according to Lala Kent. 1, you need to be a little unhinged. 2, vocal. 3, opinionated. And 4, you have to hit at 100% pretty quickly. If you are only one of these things or 2 or 3, then you aren't a housewife. You need to be all 4. What do you guys think? Do you think that Lala nailed what it takes to be a housewife? If you could add anything, what would you add? If you could remove something that she said, what would you remove? Let me know down below. I think, though, she pretty much nailed it. And oh my God, the story about Lala stomping down the hall to tell her parents to stop snoring was hilarious. And Easton had me crying again, laughing. Next up was, of course, RHONY. I'm still loving it. I'm loving the new cast. It's been great so far. There has been drama, especially with Aaron and Uba now. I know that they didn't discuss it this week, but I'm going to just say a couple little things from what I saw. I think that Uba had every right to be upset that Aaron took her phone, and Aaron needs to think, how would she feel if she didn't have her phone to be able to call maybe her husband or kids before she went to bed or when she got up? And she might have felt the same way. I don't think that taking the phone was the best way to get back at her for pushing Aaron into the water. And I think that there were many other things that were more fun, comical, and would have just been a better thing to do instead. I will talk more about RHONY next week when they get into what we all have been seeing. This was such a great podcast. I'm not going to keep you any longer because it was a little longer than normal. I will put out a short of all of the great Dancing with the Star highlights that I have, and lots more coming your way. So stay tuned. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye, everyone.